Hello there. What is going on, everybody? We've got the Recusant class destroyer expansion pack for Star Wars Armada Wave 10 Clone Wars Separatist fun stuff. We're going to unbox this thing. There's still time left to enter to win that $25 Amazon gift card giveaway. If you haven't already, all you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. Let me know what your favorite Separatist ship is from Star Wars, the Clone Wars. Do you think we'll start ever seeing some Separatist ships show up, maybe available for the Rebellion at some point? You know, there were cases of certain rebels using Separatist technology. Cham Syndulla comes to mind. I'm sure Saw Gerrera would probably have used some of this stuff if he got his hands on it. You know, could you imagine Saw Gerrera in command of a Recusant? That would be pretty cool. This one I actually picked up at my local Sci-Fi City. Came in before my Asmodee pre-order, so that's pretty cool. And we're going to unbox this thing. We're take a look at everything that comes in here and kind of see how it sizes up compared to other ships. And we'll do a little bit of that. Well, let's see what we got. We got our cards. We've got our little cardboardy insert here. And we've got our plastic, which is really the important thing. So let's see what we got. We've got our little rules insert, right? A component list right there, which is always a good thing. We got our additional rules, and yeah, this is the final Separatist ship for Armada Wave 10. We've got our cards. We'll look at those here in a minute. We've got our base, a large base, and we've got our cardboard. That's going to be look at the arc on this thing. This is what really makes this thing stand out. That's the front arc, man. It's so wide. It's like I just want to put spinal armament all over this thing. All right, like it's got one of the most incredible front arcs we've ever seen. This is like maybe one of the best candidates for spinal armament that we've seen. You know, and that's really, really cool. So we've got that. We're gonna put this all together here in a minute. But let's take a look at the ship. So I'm gonna grab it from right in here and pull it out. Sometimes these ships are hard to get out. This one came out pretty easily, which is good. It's real good. Oh, let's take a look at this. We got a nice clean paint job on this thing. We've got some lines. We've got some light gray and dark gray, kind of curved lines going on, this curved stripe pattern. And then we got the Separatist blue over top of that. Very cool. Kind of shows you that maybe this ship was, you know, in a different planetary defense force before being conscripted by the Separatist, you know, the Federation of Independent Systems, or Confederation of Independent Systems. Pretty cool. So I'm liking this. There's a lot of lighting on this too. That's something that they've done more with the Clone Wars, is they put more like lights on the ships to make it look like, hey, the people here are actually awake. We're actually able to see more of the lighting right in here and all throughout the main body of the ship. Very, very thin right here, kind of reminiscent of the Nebulon's thinner core, but at least it's hard plastic, so it doesn't feel too flimsy. I wonder how many people will end up breaking these in storage or transport. Make sure you are very careful with your storage. We take a look at the underside. Here's the back. We get a nice, like the whole back of this would make a really cool separate starship, right? Like I would love to see in like another show, like something that's just the back of a Recusant with like a little cockpit and like a weapons cannon or something on the front. You know, like somebody like kind of broke some of these apart and salvaged it and repurposed, you know, sections of it. I feel like the whole back assembly here would make a really cool, you know, half of a ship. You know, we are still flying half a ship. And underneath here, we've got like some of the fish kind of fins or fishbone kind of design pattern for the little bits of the underside. Really, really heavily armed warship here. So this is going to be a fun one to get onto the battlefield. Let's take a look at those cards. All right, so first we're going to start with the commanders. We've got Martuk, who is a really, really easy to use commander. He does have actually 3 different states on how he'll work, so 28 points. He is, you're going to have to pay for how easy he is to use. Basically, whenever a friendly ship is attacking, if the defending hull zone has at least 1 shield remaining, the attacker may add a red die to the attack pool. When a friendly ship is attacking a ship that has no shields remaining, After rolling attack dice, the attacker must cancel one attack die. So he's got a drawback, but the thing is, the drawback only works if the defender has no shields at all remaining. So if you're attacking a ship like here, if I'm attacking you here, but you still have shields on the other side, but none on the side I'm attacking, then it's neutral. Then you don't add a die or remove a die. So he's got 3 states. They've got shields where I'm attacking. That's good. You get an extra die. They have no shields at all. Well, then that's bad. Then you have to lose a die after you roll, so you can just cancel a blank. And then there's the middle state where they don't have shields where I'm attacking, but they do have shields elsewhere. That's that middle section, and that's still pretty good too. So yeah, he's pretty good. We have TF 1726, who's also another adding dice commander. That's definitely, I think, the theme here is that these are offensive commanders that are giving you extra dice. So I love both of these. But he's going to give you extra black dice instead of red dice. But they've got to have a raid token. And you can get up to 2 raid tokens on them and get an extra die for each of those. So you basically, for every raid token, you're getting an extra black die. But it's only once per activation. And it requires a little bit of setup because you have to have raid tokens. And you can max out at 2. So you can give out more raid tokens than that. One of the easiest ways to get raid tokens was with Dooku, but if you've got this guy as your commander, you're not also going to have Dooku. So that's an interesting thing. But it's a once per activation. It's awesome because it's to the attack pool, so you can roll black dice at long range. This is kind of like the Separatist version of Sato, but it doesn't require you to have squadrons. Actually, he'll work pretty well without squadrons. He's a little cheaper. Because he requires more setup. You have to build more specifically for this guy, but it's still pretty cool. We've got our officers. We've got Pasel Argente. After you've done one of each of your 4 commands, then you're going to get a bonus dial every turn, which is cool. So starting on turn 4 is the earliest you could do this. You're going to have a dial extra of your choice. And so that's going to be really, really nice, especially with certain combinations too. I like him. We've got San Hill. He's going to start with 2 squadron tokens at 3 points. He is going to let you potentially be able to activate. I think he works best to do 1 token at a time. He's going to let you activate extra squadrons that you wouldn't have activated, or that you just activate at the end during the squadron phase. So he's going to really work well with that that hyperwave signal antenna, because now you can activate those squadrons on your own. They can potentially, like, if you're not activating squadrons with squadron commands and you're going to have a bunch left over, he can be nice for that. He's weird in that, because that's usually not the most efficient way to activate squadrons. But I just don't know. I think he'll be good in the future when like newer squadrons come out that maybe don't need to be activated quite as good. Like, he'll be really good when you have rogues out there. I don't think he's that great right now, but he can work in certain builds. We've got Shu Mai, who is just universally awesome. Maybe one of the best officers we've seen, especially for certain builds that don't have a whole lot of dice mitigation. You're going to pick two turns and put tokens on her card for them. They can't be the same turns in a row, so you can do like turn 3 and 5 or something like that. You're gonna get up to re-roll 3 dice when you attack a ship on those turns. So this is you want your ship to probably be able to double arc pretty well, and hey, this is a good ship to do that with that awesome front arc. So that's really cool. She is awesome. We're gonna get 2 copies of Flak Guns. Great card. Makes your black dice. Well, basically gives you black dice in your squadron armament, but also increases the range of your salvo blue and black dice each. Just a really good. It does two cool things for only 3 points. I absolutely love that card. We're gonna get the awesome B2 Rocket Troopers. We're gonna get 2 copies of the B2 Rocket Troopers. This is one you're really gonna need, I think, if you're running TF 1726. They're basically, when you attack with a normal attack that's not a salvo attack at close or medium range, you're going to be able to exhaust this card and give somebody a raid token. So that is awesome. They also help if you want to attack squadrons. But you have to choose one way or the other. So they're versatile. You're paying a little bit more though. They're 7 points. Right? You're getting the DBY 827 heavy turbo laser, also stacks with any of your awesome salvo shenanigans. And again, it's not faction locked, so that's also really, really good. It just lets you turn a die to a crit, which is going to be really, really nice for your black dice. And it's going to stack really well with your flat guns because you want to be able to use those black dice at farther ranges. Love that card. Like it maybe a little bit better with the Providence, but it's okay. We got our titles. We have the Gilded Aegis, a 5-point title at the end of the command phase or ship phase. You may discard a redirect token to move shields to one of your hull zones. If you do, the number of shields in that zone cannot exceed 6. You cannot recover shields while a zone is higher than its maximum shield value. I feel like this is very, very situational, but it's a cool option to have. You're paying a little bit more of a title for it, but it'd be really good to keep you alive like towards the end of the game. If you get to a point where you have to run away, especially if somebody gets behind you or whatever, you can just be like, you know what, especially if somebody, you've got XI7 anyway, and you're only going to be targeting my, you know what, boom, all the rest of my shields are going to the rear as I fly away from you. I mean, it's real good for that. I mean, you could use it while you're charging at somebody too, and just want to bolster that front hull zone, because your sides will be a little bit protected, but it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild of a title, but I don't know if I would want to use it all that often, but hey, you know what? It's okay. It's not the end of the world. We've got the Nova Defiant. Starts with 4 command tokens. When you are deployed, you must choose one of each command token for the card. So he's going to start with one of each on here. He raises your command value to 4. And you can be assigned more than one of each type of command token. That's also a nice little thing. When you reveal a command, you may discard all tokens from this card to gain them. So you can just now all of a sudden be like, I've got all the tokens in the world. It's a very, like for 4 points, I feel like it's a very more universally good title because, hey, tokens are actually good. They're a lot better now than they've ever been before. So I like this one. And then my favorite title for this one. Oh, it's so nice. 6-point title. While attacking a ship at medium to long range, if this is your first attack during your activation, you may add 2 blue dice to your attack pool. If you do, you cannot attack again during this activation. First off, it's an option, so it doesn't mean you can only attack once. It just means you have the option of only attacking once. So if you want to combo this with something like slaved turrets and then maybe external racks or something like that, and then TF, your TF 1726. And like you can get so many dice out of something like this. It's just, there exists the possibility for really crazy shots, which is very, very cool. And then we have our 2 versions of our ship cards here. We've got the Support Destroyer and the Light Destroyer, 333 and then 323. So the Support Destroyer is going to have a slightly better squadron value. Although I don't really think of this ship as a carrier, but because it is a large ship, if you plan on running one of these, it's going to, once you upgrade it, it's going to use a significant chunk of your points. So you might want to rely on this guy for the squadron command ability. So what are the differences? 8 hull, it's not bad. We've got 4 different token types. Evade, which is actually pretty cool on a large ship. You don't see that very often. Brace, redirect, and salvo. So no contain here, and not that many shields too. So criticals are going to potentially hurt this ship. You've got 8 hull, you got red for anti-squadron and blue for anti-squadron over here. And then the other main difference is you're going to have more red and black on the Light Destroyer, and you have a little bit of blue on the Support Destroyer. So this one has no blue, this one does have blue. The movement is actually not bad. They're pretty maneuverable. Even at speed 3, they get 2 clicks on the 2, which is pretty nice. Now we flip them over. Our Light Destroyer and our Support Destroyer have mostly the same upgrades. The big difference is the Light Destroyer loses that double offensive retrofit for favor of single retrofit, but they gain the ordnance upgrade, which is nice. Their keywords are only droid. Keywords don't mean a whole lot just yet. I guess we'll have to wait and see what else they do with keywords. We'll be talking about that in a future video. Let's see how this ship looks compared to some other ships. All right, so first up, here it is kind of lined up right underneath a Providence, and you can see it is smaller than the Providence. Not by a whole lot, but it's definitely smaller. It's not as long. If we look at it from the top down, it's more narrow as well. So I think the Providence kind of makes this thing look pretty skinny, right? really skinny. Combine the fact that it's also very, very narrow kind of section underneath there. If we line it up with a Venator, it's a little bit longer than the Venator, largely due to these antenna bits on the back here. So if we've got to start the engine from about the same part, right? Boop. Okay, and then we get only a little bit, so almost the same length as the Venator, just about a half a centimeter longer, but definitely less chunky, right? A little bit less chunky, well, a lot less chunky. So this is probably the least mass of any large ship, although it is not technically the shortest, right? I think the Venator is the shortest, but this one is still, I think it's still, you know, still big enough to kind of barely fit in there where in the large ship category. I had initially thought this might have been a medium ship, and then I was like, well, you know, this one could be large. You know, that was one of the questions before this wave really got fully announced. So yeah, all right. All right, guys, so this is the Recusant Class Star Destroyer Expansion Pack. If you want to check out any more Armada videos, definitely check out some of the links at the end of the video. Check out the links in the description below. Join our Discord. We have a great family-friendly Discord where you can join the Armada community, ask questions, you know, toss build ideas back and forth. We have communities for the other games as well, like X-Wing and Legion. So it's a great resource. Check that out. It's links in the description below. We have a couple of other links there too if you want to follow me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. All of those links are in there. Big thanks to my patrons as well. You guys are amazing and help make this whole channel possible. So thank you for your continued support. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much. And as always, have a great day.